Hello everybody, welcome to the United Stand and welcome to our player rating show, better late than never and live, which I think is the most important thing. So we're going to be marking all our players from the win against Crystal Palace today, out of 10, 6 being the average, star for your man of the match. And I think before we get into it, of course, the joy of doing it a little bit later is that we get some updates from Carrick. We've seen what happened in the Chelsea game. So look, we're 6 points clear of Chelsea. You might not want Arsenal to win the league. I personally do. I don't want Man City to win it. But we needed Arsenal to win today. And that puts us 6 points clear of 6th place, which is more than a cushion. It's a blanket. It is. It's a blanket of safety. It gives us, and Chelsea play Arsenal next. So good stuff. I hope you're feeling good about the result. It was just about the 3 points day. It really was. Anyway, we can talk about that afterwards. Let's get into the player ratings without further ado. So, Le Mans today, I don't remember, probably a 6. Probably a 6. 6.5 is fine. Yeah, I mean, look, I think sometimes I always used to say this about De Gea. When you don't really have a lot to do, you can't really give him a good score. But it seems sometimes a bit unfair just to give them an average 6. But he didn't really have anything to do. And he has had a lot to do in recent weeks. I think today couldn't have done anything for the goal because we didn't put anyone on the front post. Very happy with him. But again, today, I don't think Palace really tested him that much from what I recall. There was that shot from Sarr, which was straight at him. But yeah, that was about it. Delo today, 5. Yeah, a 5. Played reasonably well against Everton at the last Monday, but the passing today was poor. Obviously, he was on a yellow card. I think this is happening. I think it's like it's becoming a recurring problem at Manchester United. So that we've got Sesko, right? Football's really simple. I mean, we've just watched Arsenal score 2 corner goals when they didn't play that well to win a game. And look, I'm not criticising United because I think Arsenal did the same. You could argue that Chelsea did quite well, had a man sent off, maybe deserved something more, Crystal Palace. But Arsenal won 2-1 and get the 3 points, and that's all that matters at this stage of the season, and it's the same with us. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. It's not pre-recorded day. I wouldn't be able to read your comment, would I? And also we've got some super chats to read as well, so grow up. But the point is, winning is simple at this time of the season if you keep it simple. We won that game 2-1 against 10 men because of one cross. Bruno Fernandes into Sesko. I am tired of watching Delo and Shaw see a chance to put an early cross in and automatically their brain goes, pass. There was one from Delo at 1-1 where it's like instantly put the cross in, he controls it and passes it back inside to Mainu to put the cross in. And I'm like, if you ain't good enough to put the cross in, mate, and you've got to pass it to Mainu, then you ain't a fullback for me. And these fullbacks, if they're putting crosses in, Sesko's 6'5". There's not many centre-backs in the Premier League that can deal with Sesko. We didn't put a cross into Sesko for 30 minutes in the first half. These fullbacks have got to be doing better going forward. If we had 2 fullbacks that could put decent crosses in, imagine what we could do. So look, it might not have been good defensively from Delo today, but I think they're massively letting us down in relation to going forward. And it's been like it against West Ham and Everton. Yoro, I'll probably give him a 5 today. I'm glad that people have given him a 5.3. I'm happy to knock it up to a 5.5. I like Yoro. He's a young player. He's going to make mistakes. It's like Dorgu. We shouldn't be writing him off. We've got to be patient. Martinez is injured. De Ligt is injured. Maguire went off. Yoro is our future. We've invested heavily in him. We can't burn players. We can't burn young players. So, yeah, maybe he was at fault for the first goal. Maybe he was a little bit shaky in the first half. But there is that protection that needs to be there for the younger players. And I haven't got a problem with Yoro. We've won the game. Simple. So I'd probably give him a 5, but 5.5 I'm actually happy with. Harry Maguire, today I'd probably give him 6, 6.5. Yeah, I agree with that. Another steady performance from Harry Maguire. Look, Palace didn't really attack. Apart from the first 20 minutes, they didn't really attack. Palace's plan was, once it was 1-0, rely on their defence, which is very solid. The red card obviously changed that. We didn't have a lot to do defensively, but again, it was a good game for Harry Maguire. Just on that, by the way, I'll tell you what the injury updates are with Maguire and Luke Shaw at the end, but we will get through the player ratings first. Luke Shaw today, I mean, look, he came off so early, probably a 5, 4.5, doesn't surprise me. I'm being generous with a 5. It was poor. The passing was poor. The pace was poor. The going forward was poor. And ultimately, we were so much better for him going off. Now, hopefully it's not a long-term injury because we don't have that long. But I just got to stop for a minute. Chuba Malik says Delo was really good today. I'll leave that. I'll leave that one. Anyway, you've always got to give the other side. But yeah, Luke Shaw was poor today. Very low score. Fullbacks just aren't doing what we need for United. So yeah, we'll move on. Casemiro today, probably a 5.5 for me. I'm going to be harsh on the midfield. I think it's the 3rd game in a row that Casemiro and Mainu have been average or below average. I don't know what's happened to them in the last 3 games, but against Man City and Arsenal and Fulham, I thought they played really, really well. And against Spurs, 10 men, they played well when we went down to 10 men. But Everton, West Ham, and now Palace, these aren't amazing midfields. And I think our midfield was poor again today. Apart from Bruno, I don't think Casemiro and Mainu played well. They've got to do better. They've got to step up. One of them's going to the World Cup. One of them wants to go to the World Cup. I wouldn't say you could easily give them a 6, but for me, it's happened 3 games now, and I'm not going to keep giving a 6 to 2 midfielders who I think should be doing a little bit better than what they are. They probably were average, but it's a 5.5 for me, and it's a 5.5 for me for Mainu as well. They need to be better. I think Adam Wharton today, I probably would have given him a 7. I don't think he did anything extraordinary, but I think that's the perfect example. Wharton broke up the play, played the simple pass, and was very energetic. I don't think he was amazing, but I think he did what you want. And that's what Casemiro and Mainu need to do, because it's dropped off a little bit. Now, I don't know whether that's because of the training, the intensity. Everybody seems to have dropped off a little bit, but in the midfield, we need to keep those energy levels up. Mbeumo today, again, I feel with Mbeumo, I'd probably give him a 6. I thought people might give him a 5.5, which is why I think there's a 5.8. I think Mbeumo, we hold him to a high level. We've spent a lot of money on him, and he's had a very good season. I don't think he was as poor as some people think, and I'll tell you why. I think that his final ball was a little bit off, and he did drift in and out of the game. But I think there was some really good link-up play. I think he had a good couple of runs. He could have won as a penalty, you know. I think he could have done what... My one criticism of Mbeumo was, I thought it was a stonewall penalty and he didn't go down. You know, right at the start of the second half, he skipped past a couple of players. He got into the box to have a shot. He gets tackled from behind by Wharton. Now, it might not have quite been in the box. It was borderline. But if he goes down, that would have been a penalty, and he stayed up. And I thought it was you know, it's almost the contrast between honesty and, you know, playing the game, and he stayed up. And I think it could have been a penalty, but no, I think Mbeumo was terrible. I think it was probably just an average day for him. Bruno, no doubt, a star for me, and I would also say that I would give him. I mean, I'm tempted to give him an 8. I'm going to give him 7.5. Okay, but I'm going to give him an 8 because when you look at the results today. And you look at the importance of being 6 points ahead of Chelsea. If we'd drawn or lost that game today, we leave the door open. We don't catch up with Villa. We stay close to Liverpool. And I think too many times this season I've had this conversation. Without Bruno, we don't win that game. The pass into Cunha for the penalty is perfect. Probably won't get any attention. But the weight of the pass means Henderson can't get there, the defender can't get there, and it's always Cunha's ball to run onto if he's strong. The cross into Sesko is absolutely dynamite. And the penalty, look, it's a penalty, but, you know, he still scores it. And I think Bruno, even in the first half, he never doesn't want the ball. And I think Bruno is an example. Like, I don't think Bruno played particularly well against Everton or West Ham. But today, he delivered. And I just think that, you know, if he was doing this, if he was in a better team, he'd probably be one of the best players in the world. And I say that with real sincerity. He does it in a team that's not that good. And week in, week out, game in, game out, he's delivering. He's got more assists than anybody in the Premier League, and we're not that good. You put him in a good team, And I think he'd do even better. It's almost lethargic how he gets taken for granted by some people. Like, just look around the Premier League and what it is this year. Who are the stars of the Premier League when it comes to creativity and attack? It's threadbare. You've got Haaland, Thiago scoring goals, Ekatike. Attacking-wise, hardly anyone's provided. It's barren. The Premier League is barren. It's pretty formulaic. It's pretty boring, if we're being completely honest. And you've got Bruno Fernandes, who's just delivering week in, week out. It's an easy 8 for me, and it's an easy man of the match. And we don't win that game without Bruno. It doesn't happen. Because even though Palace go down to 10 men, we only score one more goal. And all right, Casemiro nearly scored. It was a good save from Dean Henderson. But I would have thought Crystal Palace played on Thursday night. They go down to 10 men with 35 minutes to go. We score a penalty to make it 1-1. I would have thought, hatful of chances. Maybe boost your goal difference. And we struggled. We struggled against 10 men. And it all came down to a perfect cross onto a 6'5" striker. And if that cross doesn't happen, I don't even know if we get a win. I don't even know if we get a win. Make sure you smash a like on the video, by the way. Cunha. Sorry, I've got Nico WhatsApping me all about this Ball stuff. The rivalry's starting already, people. Make sure you follow our story on Baller League. We've got some new signings being announced tonight. So, new team in the Baller League. Follow us on Instagram. New signings have been announced tonight as well. So we've got a few new signings coming in. You'll get to know more about them. New kits coming out this week as well. Thanks for all your support. Cunha today, 7. What? 6.3? Game changer. He's a game changer. Cunha's becoming our second Bruno. He's a game changer. I think you've got to understand Cunha. I think you've got to people need to start understanding that Cunha's like Bruno. Like, he might drift in and out of a game, but he'll deliver 1 or 2 moments in a game that change the game. And look against Everton. We don't beat Everton. I know people praise Mbeumo and they praise Sesko, but in a footballing sense, Mbeumo running onto a ball and passing it simply to Sesko and Sesko finishing with no pressure. Good, but the pass from Cunha is the thing. And again today, good pass by Bruno, brilliant pass by Bruno, but he's still up against a strong centre-back that he's got to muscle and work. And to be honest with you, if I whisper it, probably not a foul. Probably not a foul. At best, soft. But the way he manipulates the situation to take the tumble, my criticisms towards VAR and the referee, I ain't got no problem with Cunha. I used to do it. I'm sure some of you've done it. You're 1-0 down. You're approaching the penalty box. You feel a little bit on your shoulder. You take the tumble. You get it. People might say it's unsportsmanlike. Hey ho, it's competitive football. So I think Cunha is a 7 for me today because, again, for the second game in a row, he's provided a game changer, whether you like it or not. Shaw was better in the second half, says Chris. We are poor, we did win, but I'm worried, says Sean. No shame, VAR cheating for United every game, says Claire. I agreed with all your points, Mark, but will we give starts to Obi, Leon and the others? My girlfriend has a crush on Obi, says Invincible Henry. Well, I don't think we're going to do it at the moment with the lack of Champions League football. We've got to confirm that. But maybe later on in the season when it's confirmed, we can get Lacey and others in the team. Alec Miller with a super chat says, the problem with Cobby is that he went from knowing he was never going to see playtime to now knowing you'll never get subbed. Both scenarios create complacency. We need competition for places. Is that an amazing comment from Alec? A player that knew he wasn't going to get any game time no matter what, to a player who knows he's going to get game time no matter what. It's almost like a flip, isn't it? It's true. Casemiro and Mainu, no, they're not getting dropped. They've got no competition for places. Does it get in the head a little bit? I don't know. Could be a good point. Slow Sports News with the super chat says, watching these games since January, Amrin bought the right players, sent out the right players, just the wrong system. It's great to see hard work pay off, but we still have a long way to go. Thank you, pal. And She Loves Cowgirl says, Mark, remember when you said Bruno is the problem? I feel like you only said that because Roy Keane said it. I don't remember saying that. I remember saying that Bruno in the midfield was the problem, and if he was going to play in the midfield, I would sell him. I also remember last June saying if he's playing in a number 10, I'd never sell him. So do your research, come at me with something that's true, instead of clipping or faking or lying, because that's not what I said, and most of the chat know that. I didn't say that. I said in the midfield he was wasted, and it was wrong. At number 10, you'd never sell him. Sesko, I mean, look, 7 for me. Yeah, I think that's the right score for Sesko. Brilliant goal. Probably didn't utilise him enough. I think I said about Sesko around certainly at half time, maybe after half time. He's in the graveyard shift. We're not putting crosses in. We're not getting the ball into him. He's getting absolutely nothing. And then you put the one cross in, bang. And I think for me, it can't be any more than a 7 because we didn't really service him. But when we did, that was the goal. And that's what he's there to do. And that's what a striker's there to do. And I'm over the moon with Sesko. I mean, I'd like to see him get more service. But if he takes the chances, that's what it's all about. Simple as that. Aiden Heaven, look, probably a steady 6, if I'm being completely honest. Mazraoui, I thought was a 7. 6.3. What game are you watching? I don't get that one at all. I think sometimes there's complacency. Like Mazraoui compared to Luke Shaw, I'd almost give him a 10. I mean, the upgrade was incredible. Absolutely incredible. It's like going from a bloody mini metro to a Ferrari. It was incredible. The change was massive. It's like having beans on toast for dinner and then someone walks in with a curry. It's amazing. Absolutely brilliant. Superb. Actually, I do feel like a curry. I'm starving. But I think that Mazraoui was brilliant. I think he was absolutely superb. And yeah, I actually thought people might go 7.5. I just think... I don't know why Mazraoui's not getting game time. I think there is actually a conversation to be had here. Delot has predominantly been bad all season. Luke Shaw has predominantly been bad at left back. He was good at left centre back, but at left back he's been bad. So we've got 2 underperforming fullbacks every week. On paper, Mazraoui's better anyway, and he's sat there on the bench. He's come on today. He's made a huge difference. And what happens when Luke, if Luke Shaw's fit for Newcastle, is he sat on the bench again? I just think he's got to play. Before he had his injuries, he was always Mr. Consistent. He's always been a 7 out of 10. Maybe he's not excellent, maybe he's not crap, but he's always been better than average. And I think these players are worth their weight in gold. It made us better. I thought Ahmad did okay when he came on, but I'd give him probably just a 6, 6.5 is fine. Xerxes again came on and did okay, 6, 6.5. I mean, look, what I would say about Xerxes is, I'm almost tired of saying it. I like him, but it's very obvious there's no future. Every time he comes on now, he just comes on like a bit part player. There was a time with Xerxes, even under Amrim, where I thought he might end up in the team. I look at him now, I think we've just kept him around for injuries. I think he's gone in the summer. You just look at him and you go, you're never getting a starting place, mate. You're never going to move Bruno, you're never going to play on the wing, and you're never going to move Sesko or Mbeumo. So I think he plays like that as well. It's just very obvious that you're a bit part player. And I don't think he was at the start of the season. I don't think that was the plan. But I think where he is now, we're just using him as an extra, really. Michael Carrick today. Look, people might not like it. I feel that I'd probably give him a 6, 6.5, which most of you have agreed with. The reason for that, I don't think we played very well in the first half. I would pose the question again, why we have a lack of intensity and energy and rhythm in the last 3 games that we didn't have in the Man City and Arsenal game. Man City and Arsenal, it was relentless, it was good patterns of play, it was high energy. And then the last 3 games, it's just been flat and, lack of intensity. And I don't really get it. And I'm looking forward to the Newcastle game because that'll be a big atmosphere and a big game. And I'm hoping we can get back to how we played against Arsenal and Man City because, 6 wins out of 7 and a draw, it is good. But the performance isn't. And if we're going to play like this next season with Carrick, I wouldn't give him the job. I think it's got to be better than this. So, Carrick, another good win. But he's probably, if I was Carrick, I'd be there in the dressing room just hugging Bruno and saying thank you, because I think Bruno's won us that game. I don't think it was tactical. I don't think it was about anything other than Bruno Fernandes. I thought it was quite a flat United performance. And Bruno's brilliance, which is what you pay 300k a week for. I think the best thing I've said today is United are obsessed with reducing the wage bill. And the player that's getting us the points this season is the best paid player. You get what you pay for. Man of the match. I'll be stunned. 81%. Bruno Fernandes. Absolutely. Absolutely. Just on Michael Carrick, I want to talk about a couple of things that he said after the game. But there's a couple of super chats coming in here. Andreas says, I love Carrick, but listening to his interviews is like taking a melatonin overdose and waking up with your car out of battery. He has to keep winning, says Andreas. Well, I think Carrick's always been a bit reserved, is the word I would say, in his emotions, which is why he was such a brilliant player, just so composed. Invincible Henry says, think about a situation where all the players are in the dressing room after the game and Carrick arrives. Carrick rips a warm fart and the players get congested and United get relegated. Who is to blame? Wow. 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 Absolutely mad. Antos says, Tottenham have no wins in 2026. Do you think they're going to get relegated? Well, not unless West Ham can start winning. Is Delo suspended against Newcastle? No, he didn't get sent off. Looks like Amorim had a team, but, says Lord. And Daniel Thompson, thank you very much for gifting a membership. Thank you very much for that. Right, on injuries from this game, this is what Michael Carrick had to say. He basically said that with Luke Shaw and Maguire going off, they just weren't feeling too well. So hopefully they'll be feeling better soon. So he's basically saying it's to do with illness. That Luke Shaw and Harry Maguire went off. I mean, that's a boost because you would suspect that they'll be better for the Newcastle game. The only thing I would say with Harry Maguire, that might be the case, but with Luke Shaw, I mean, I've never felt ill from a tackle on my foot. He seemed to be, to me, it looked like he was injured, but if it's illness, I suppose that's a boost in relation to that, because yeah, I think it could have been a little bit worse. Luke Shaw's got a World Cup to work for, says Esso. Could it be the catering again, says Sparky? And do you think Ahmad starting with Sesko would work for more service? I think with look. I think the problem, I see it a lot. And I think people get obsessed with big players not being in the team. When Sesko's not in the team, Sesko needs to start. When Ahmad's not in the team, how does Ahmad get back into the team? Like, the whole purpose of United getting back to the top is having more and more players like Bruno and having about 18 players like that, so that you've got rotation, injury cover, loss of form cover. The problem is United have been shit for so long. We're not used to Ahmad being on the bench because he's a starter. But this is the path we need to go down. I'm comfortable with it. I think people need to get comfortable with it. Like, I would love to get to a situation where maybe a Mainu's on the bench and an Ahmad's on the bench and a Cunha's on the bench. Because if they're on the bench, that means better players are in the starting lineup. So I'm not really infatuated with Ahmad getting back into the team. I mean, Ahmad's one of my favourite players. But I didn't miss him today because I felt he deserved to be on the bench because he hasn't been performing. Now, maybe some people would play Ahmad instead of Mbeumo now because they weren't happy with Mbeumo. But I'm comfortable with this. I'm not obsessed with getting... You can't pick everybody if you've got too many good players. And to get back on top, we need too many good players. We need competition for places. That comment that somebody made about Mainu and Casemiro, knowing they're not going to get dropped no matter how bad they perform, this is bad. Like, Carrick won't use Ugarte even when Mainu and Casemiro are tired. He won't bring Ugarte on. He didn't bring Ugarte on today. Mainu and Casemiro haven't played well in the last 3 games, and I don't think he's brought Ugarte on once. So that competition for places is really important. We've got it with Mbeumo and Ahmad. Josie says Delo's got 5 yellows. Well, it's 10 now. You've got to have 10 to get to miss out. So yeah, it would be 10 now. Okay, I've had such a busy day today. Thank you so much for tuning in. Apologies that the player ratings didn't happen, but it was such a small gap between the end of the Man United game and the Arsenal-Chelsea game, which is why I've come back to do this now. Busy week ahead. We're playing on Wednesday night, which means we've got press conferences and midweek previews, which won't last, don't worry. But I'm doing Baller League. That's going to be on a Monday night till the end of the season, so you have got some midweek football that we can all get behind the team in. But this week, United are there. Thank you so much, everybody, for all your messages and support on that Baller League. If you want to give us a follow on Insta and see our new signings, the link is in the live chat there. If you want to get tickets to it, I'll put it in the video description. They go out tomorrow. We're going to turn the Copper Box into the Thunderdome. Kits will be out this week. But look, from Manchester United's point of view, Arsenal beating Chelsea helps us out. And in relation to 6 points clear from 6th, it's looking good. It's looking good. Have a great evening, everybody. Have a great day. Stay safe. I'll see you on the 10 o'clock show tomorrow morning. Thank you for watching.